Let me start with our top story that's really troubled parents, students, institutions alike across India, Delhi and Bengaluru specifically. Multiple bomb threats were issued in both these cities. At least 40 schools in Bengaluru were targeted today with a chilling email titled Bombs Inside School. And it's not just Bengaluru, 20 schools in Delhi too received similar threats today. That's nearly 100 schools across India in just the last week that have received bomb threats. Children are to be rushed out, parents in panic, anti-sabotage teams there sweeping some campuses. Every time it ends up with the same excuse, cops saying it was a hoax. But this hoax is no joke anymore. This particular email was sent from roadkill333 at atomicmail.io. This is what it reads. It seems like a hidden address from the dark web. And that mail says, TNT is hidden across your school. You all deserve to suffer. I truly hate my life. And a lot more that this man or woman has written in that threat letter to these schools, where it shows very clearly that the person is extremely troubled. So this is not just ordinary mischief. It can't be ignored as small mischief. We could call this indeed as psychological warfare. And sadly, no one has been made accountable for this so far. It's the fourth day in a row for Delhi. Delhi has been constantly receiving these bomb threats, schools across. Bengaluru joining the growing list here. Ahmedabad, a week ago, over 40 schools in Ahmedabad received bomb threats. In fact, this happened in May. 200 plus schools in Delhi NCR for the last few weeks. All traced to encrypted networks, foreign servers, mail.ru, VPNs, all basically untraceable from the darknet. Authorities say that they are investigating this, but where are the results? Where is our cyber cell? Where is the deterrence here? Why is no one being made as an example? Arrest someone who's done this before and make an example of it. We so far have no trace of all these threat letters or emails that have come to these institutions. We're looking at Operation Sindhu that's currently on pause. When our critical infrastructure like airports, hospitals, all facing such similar cyber scare campaigns, then why can't our cyber security agencies really step up to trace this back? Is it really so hard? Remember those emails, they do pose a huge risk. It is tangible. And this is a national security issue. There's huge cost to it. Education is disrupted. People are sending their institutions are sending their children home. A whole day's class is gone. Innocent people are threatened. Parents are living in constant fear. Okay, today was a hoax. What if it's real tomorrow? That's what one parent in Bengaluru is said to have informed the institution. I know you're saying that it's fake today. I will remain calm today, but what if it happens the next time? What if it's real the next time? This is the constant fear that parents are living in. Flights, the number of flights that have actually turned around because of these bomb threats. Countless flights have been delayed, cancelled. Imagine the losses to the aviation industry. Now, we need a lot more than just police sweeps and empty reassurances here. We need accountability. There should be answers. And there should be a way to track these people back and bring them to book. A little more on that to delve on the threats of these hoax calls. Joining us tonight, Sanjay Sahai, former ADGP of Karnataka. We also have Aparajita Gautam, President, Delhi Parents Association, Kanish Gaur, cyber security expert. My first question to the police officer on the panel here today. Since you're from Karnataka, sir, we're looking at least 20 schools in Karnataka that have received bomb threats today. Bishop Cotton boys being one. I studied in one such. Baldwin girls right next door. It's scary, you know. Students might find it funny saying, "Oh, we are let off early today. We're all going to go home." But the point is that schools also can't take this lightly. Nobody can take this lightly. So where's an end to it? How is it that the cops are not able to trace the criminal back?
It is only if it is proven hoax, it is not real. So that is the truism in which we live in the security industry. Unfortunately, the capabilities which we require and the capabilities which we have, I think there is a wide gap between the two. And always we hear of VPNs and proxy domains. VPNs and proxy domains, it does not mean that you will not be able to do anything. It's just a masking which happens. The identity can be established in variety of ways. Is also the payments which happen to these VPNs. You take the case of Proton Mail. If you really put up a big issue, I think through the Swiss authorities you can get the information. So my understanding is that enough of effort is not being made, not for the reason that they don't want to. But I think in this country still we are in a situation where we feel that couple of cyber crime cells is more than enough to tackle this situation. Cyber security will need a huge amount of
Sir,
investment
but this is a
and
lot more than
capability.
just cyber security. This has become national security now.
No,
We're
no,
looking at yeah.
see, I'll tell you, from 2015 or 2014, if I'm not mistaken, cyber security has been the number one national security issue in United States of America. So
So
I'm
should
talking about
cyber
nearly 10
security
years.
agencies really be the one handling this? Because they seem incompetent to me.
It might look incompetent to you. I will call it that there is a huge gap between the capabilities which we have, which are the technical capabilities, the technical infrastructure, and the wherewithal in the government to push it to a level where you are able to crack it. So that is the biggest challenge. Now you say VPN. There are ways and means to tackle a VPN. There are ways and means to tackle proxy domains. Have we been doing that, or we are sitting idle saying that it is a VPN or a proxy domain? So that is where we
Question to
stand. There are
ask you.
10
It's not
methods,
like
but
as if before the cops have not been able to trace. They've managed to trace some of these hoax mails
no.
or
See
threats
what they have
before.
managed to.
I
I'll tell
want
you
to
what they
ask
have
you,
managed.
what stops the law enforcement to make a strong arrest and set a strong example? What do the
No,
law
see,
says with regards to these hoax threats?
okay. Now who will you arrest? The crime has to be connected to the criminal. And unfortunately, they are not able to get the criminal. They are
No,
not
I'm
able to get
saying
the
there
IP
have
address.
been cases where they've traced back to the criminal.
Huh?
There have been cases where the police have found out
See,
where the
you,
hoax threat has come from.
yeah,
But why
you
has there
have the
been no
jump.
strong arrest?
See, there are variety of cases. You have the Jamtara type of issues.
Yeah,
You also have a recent issue where St. Stephen's College and St. Thomas School. So they were able to track that guy who's a 12-year-old boy.
correct.
So there is a circumstantial evidence, so many leads. So they're able to crack or one or two of these cases.
So
But if it is
why
done
are they
in a bit,
not setting an example with those one or two cases? At least they
they
should.
are. See, if they have the capabilities, then only they will crack. No, there are cases after cases in US of
No, sir, you're
ransomware
not
attacks. They have
getting my
not been.
point. I'm saying that if
Yeah.
they're able to trace back to some of these people who they've managed to identify, why is there no stringent punishment? So that if tomorrow I lose my mind and my plot, like the way, can we have those letters of those, the threat letters, if we can have it on our screens there, I can't even read out some of the points there that person has written in the threat letter to Bengaluru schools. He or she seems very troubled mentally. If you're
Okay.
able to crack, if you're able to trace back to the person, why are they being let go so easily? What
Right.
does the
So
law say about arresting and punishment of these people?
see, in the last couple of days, I think last 4 or 5 days, the only case they have been able to track is where a 12-year-old boy, he was playing, supposedly he was playing fool or a playing prank. And they have counseled him and they have left him. I don't know for what reason they have left him. They were taken to the juvenile court, and from there, whatever the law demands, they should have done it. The parents also should have been taken because there is absolutely no track of what the kids are doing. Besides that, I don't see any other case which has
No,
been
Air
cracked.
India,
As
just
per
after the Air India plane crash, there was one lady who was tracked back to, who tried to frame her husband or her boyfriend. Multiple emails that she sent on his name saying that there's bomb in this flight and that plane and whatnot. After Air India crash, she sent another mail saying, "See, I told you, I was not joking. I was the one who was behind this." So, and they found who that lady was, and it happened to be a jilted lover. So, I mean, it's an adult.
as
What
as
kind of
as
punishment is
per
she
the law,
getting?
as per the law, you can be booked for IT Act. You can be booked for the BNS, IPC for variety of
That's it.
sections.
You're saying
Now,
it's not a cognizable offense. It's simple,
no,
basic.
it depends. It depends how you take the case. You are taking the same case for a simple hurt. You are taking the same case for National Security Act. So it depends how the police takes the case and how they prove it
That's
in the court
precisely
of
my
law.
question here. Why isn't the police being stricter? Impose harsher sections?
See, that you can
Jamila,
ask people who are
can I come
booking
in
the
here on
case.
this point?
They,
Yeah.
Can I
yeah,
just
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
come
chime in?
here. What I'm telling you, if those sections are invoked, correct. Only, and then they have to be proven,
Well,
and
you
that
are
has not happened.
proven what? Prove what? Usually the culprit is admitting, saying, I was depressed, I
No,
was
no, no.
sad,
Confession.
I.
You cannot have a self. You cannot have incriminating evidence. That is against the law of the land. It has to be proven by technical evidence. Until unless the tech, because there is no other evidence. So technical evidence, it has to be proven by technical evidence, by what we call as email forensics, by what we call as cyber forensics. Until unless that is done, it will not be proven in a court
So
of law.
there have been many cases that they've been able to establish where it's come from. My clear cut question here is why is it so easy for these people to be let off? How can they get away so easy saying I'm
Jamila,
sorry?
Jamila, there is no
Nabila
law. There
sir,
is no
my name is
law.
Nabila Kanishk. Go on.
Nabila, there is no law. There is no law. The government has spoken about it enough. Right now, there is no law. There is no provision. In the BNS, there is no provision on how to counter bomb threats. And this has happened again and again in the country. The parliament has spoken, number of members of parliament have spoken about it. What you need to make is special provisions under the BNS to catch hold of people, and then also have measures in the Indian IT Act if there are email service providers like the one we have right now, the atomic mail, and how they can provide all of this information with respect to tracing IP addresses. Now, this person is a tech savvy person. That's why this email service provider is being used, because this email service provider does not share the IP address of the originator in the name of data protection and privacy. Now, there are multiple such providers which operate in India and offer these services, but they don't have an office in India, and they continue to provide secure email services. So anyone, even a small kid, a teenager, a 19-year-old can use this email and send out these mass hoax emails. So, under the provisions of the Indian IT Act, you need to make special provision aspects to ensure that incidents like these don't repeat themselves, something that has not been done in the past. We have made provisions in the past with respect to significant social media intermediary guidelines, with respect to offshore betting and gambling, online gaming platforms. But when it comes to specifically email service providers like Proton or Atomic Email, nothing has been done so far. So what you need to do is go back and make provisions in the Indian IT Act, and then make provisions in the BNS as well on what you would do with someone who is doing it repeatedly. Now it has happened, and you would look at the loss that has happened, it would be in thousands of crores. So many aeroplanes were forced
It's
to
not
take
like they're
emergency
getting
landings.
compensated. It's not like these aviation or airlines are actually getting compensation. It's not like
No one's
schools.
getting compensated. So anyone can send out an email from an email service provider which does not provide the IP addresses. So catching the originator of the message is a big issue.
Yeah.
Now, even we were talking about Proton email. Proton email only complies to Swiss regulations. So the Indian government will have to use the MLAC channel to contact Swiss service providers and then explain how it impacts national security of India. If the
Right.
Swiss authorities believe it does not impact, then a company like Proton will not support in providing the IP details. Now, that is the irony. The first thing that you need to do is whosoever is offering these services need to have a company in India. They need to have people who are liable and accountable, people who could be put behind bars, people who could be penalized. That is not there. So, major service providers, email service providers operate in India, and they don't have an entity set up. That needs to change. So the laws need to be revised per se, which is currently missing. And we have seen this happening throughout a year. Last year it happened, and we saw so much of damage that has happened. And every time we say, oh, it was a kid who did it. What about a terrorist organization? The economic impact of this is huge, humongous, thousands of crores. If, adversary, we have just been through Operation Sindoor. If our adversary decides to send out these emails, what provisions we have to stop this kind of threat? We haven't really thought about it yet. We haven't been prepared. So India as a country, we have not really been resilient. If it happens from one of our adversaries across our borders, if they start doing it on a regular basis, impacting us economically, are we ready to be prepared? Or are we just going to be To handle this, I don't think so. That is something
I
which
have a
is
question,
we
of
have really
course.
thought about it.
The Indian government, the NDA itself, had come up with the Digital Personal Data Protection Act of 2023, the DPDP Act. Now, that's possibly the most
That has not been processed. The final set of rules
exactly
haven't come.
recent and significant cybersecurity law in India that's been kept on hold. Why, may I ask, has this not been implemented? We're in a digital age. The NDA at this point is really pushing digital across platforms. The cybersecurity law is possibly the most necessary at this point. It's the need of the hour, but yet the government is sitting on it. Would you be able to tell us a little, Kanishk, on what is the issue that this law isn't being passed?
I'll tell you the issue. The issue is lobbying. All the American companies which make money by using our metadata don't want this law to be passed. They go and then bring out a team of lawyers, activists, which will put on RTIs, which will try and disrupt it because they make billions out of this country. The more we try to bring in a data protection or privacy law, the big tech platforms, the significant social media platforms would want that law because they are using metadata. They don't want this law to come out. So there is a strong lobby of tech companies which don't want this law to come in India because it is going to massively increase the cost of them doing business in this country. They will have to set up infrastructure, they will have to set up consent. Right now, the cost of doing business is enormously low. That's why they're making tremendous amount of money. Look at the money the big tech make. They make billions out of this country and how much jobs they provide. So the amount of money which goes out of this country is tremendously high. We are talking about, Trump is talking about tariffs. But let's look at the data monetization which is done. So there is a strong lobby which doesn't want the data protection law to come out. And they have put multiple aspects. The biggest issue which is being debated right now is age of children, obtaining consent from parents, how that will be done. And every time it has come to consultation, there would be some of the other big tech which would bring in a strong lobby of lawyers and law firms, which would take us a long time to settle some of those issues. Until the time we keep on going again and again, we will never be able to bring out this law. So the government will have to take a strong stance to ensure that they move forward on some of these special provisions which are required and not basically taper down the data protection bill. We have seen Justice Sri Krishna, who was basically the founder who played a role. He is literally given up today, right now. And the bill when it started versus where it is now, there's a big difference. So if you want to bring out a law which really doesn't support the people, then it will be basically a watershed approach.
Correct.
So that is correctly what is happening.
So the lack of will, then, all I can say is, from what I hear from you, if true, is just a lack of will. We've got to be a little more hard-pressed with our effort to ensure such cases don't come on a daily basis. I will come to you, sir. Aparajita Gautam, who's the president, Delhi Parents Association. मैडम, आपको कैसे लगता है, पेरेंट्स को कैसे लगता है जब हर बार ऐसे थ्रेट्स आते हैं और आपको अपने बच्चे को स्कूल से पिकअप करना है, उनकी माइंड पे क्या चलता है, बच्चे के माइंड पे क्या हावी है ये ऐसे थ्रेट्स?
थैंक यू नबीला। देखिए, इसमें मैं ये कहूँ कि अगर मैं बच्चों की बात करूं और जो साथ साथ आप स्क्रीन पे चला रहे हैं, अगर ऐसा कोई थ्रेट आता है और स्कूल जब इवैक्यूएट करता है बच्चों को, तो यहाँ पर कंसिडर करने वाली बात है वो छोटे बच्चे जो नर्सरी और केजी के हैं, वो प्राइमरी क्लास के बच्चे, उनका क्या एक उनके दिमाग में एक ट्रॉमा अगर बैठ गया तो उनको मेंटल और साइकोलॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है। दूसरी बात, पेरेंट्स की अगर मैं बात बताऊं, ऐसे ही अगर कभी भी बॉम्ब थ्रेट्स की बात हो रही है, और दिल्ली में तो ये रेगुलर प्रैक्टिस हो गई है, और ये पिछले साल नहीं, उससे पहला भी अगर आप डेटा निकाल के देखें, ये समहाउ रेगुलर हो गया है। थोड़ा सा मैं आपका ध्यान इस बारे में भी लेके जाना चाहूंगी। अगर आप इसके पैटर्न को समझें, तो ये जो मेल जो आ रही हैं, वो आप देखें स्कूल के एग्जाम्स के आसपास आती हैं। जस्ट आपका एग्जाम शुरू होने वाला है, या तो उस टाइम पे या ड्यूरिंग दी एग्जाम आ रही है। तो हमारी जो फाइंडिंग्स है, तो हमें ये शुरू में लगा और आज भी लगता है कि ये बच्चे कर रहे हैं। बट यस, उन बच्चों को आप अगर आपको पता चल गया एग्जैक्टली कौन सा बच्चा कर रहा है, तो जैसे अभी हम लोग डिबेट कर रहे हैं, इसके माध्यम से इसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस लोकल लेकर यहाँ पर सब तक पहुंचाने बहुत जरूरी है, खासकर उन सभी बच्चों को जो इसको आज की डेट में एक मजाक बना रखे हैं। क्योंकि इस पूरे सिस्टम पे नुकसान किसका हो रहा है? छोटे बच्चों का, इनफैक्ट उन बच्चों का भी जो सीरियसली पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं, प्लस पेरेंट्स जो आज की डेट में अगर मेरे पास कॉल आती है, ऑफ कोर्स मैं पैनिक हो जाऊंगी, मेरे को ये टेंशन हो जाएगी मैं जल्दी से जल्दी अपने बच्चे को पिक करने के लिए पहुंचू, क्योंकि कुछ ऐसे स्कूल्स भी हैं जो तुरंत मैसेज करते हैं। दूसरा मेरा पॉइंट है कि एग्जाम्स के आसपास, और दूसरा ये देखिए, अगर मैं दिल्ली की बात करूं, हमने जो पैटर्न देखा है, ये जो थ्रेट्स है वो प्राइवेट स्कूल्स पे आ रही हैं, यानी कि उनके मेल एक्सेस कर लिए गए हैं। गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स आप देखेंगे यहाँ से बाहर है, और दिल्ली की अगर मैं बात करूं, लो बजट स्कूल्स बाहर है, क्योंकि उनकी अपनी वेबसाइट नहीं होती। दीज आर सम पॉइंट्स जो हमारे, हम लोगों ने अपना जो रिसर्च किया तो हमें पता चला देयर इज सम पैटर्न कि नंबर 1 एग्जाम्स के आसपास आ रहा है, नंबर 2 स्कूल्स जो आपके प्राइवेट स्कूल्स हैं, जो हमारे बजट से ऊपर वाले हैं या मिड सेगमेंट वाले स्कूल्स हैं। तो यहाँ पर बात, अभी हमारे साथ जो एमिनेंट पर्सनैलिटीज है जो बैठे हुए, उन्होंने कहा यस, जैसे अगर आपके हमारे नॉलेज में आया 12 साल के बच्चे ने किया, उसकी आप काउंसलिंग करवाइए, बट मीडिया के थ्रू ये भी कन्वे कीजिए कि इस बच्चे को कितना नुकसान हो सकता है, जिससे बाकी कोई भी ऐसा बच्चा जो ऐसा करने की सोच रहा है वो नहीं करे। लास्ट बट नॉट
नहीं, ये
लीस्ट,
तो ये पुलिस का काम है बिल्कुल पकड़ने का, काउंसलिंग स्कूल का काम है, या पुलिस भी कर सकती है, मगर कितना पब्लिसाइज करे, काउंसलिंग को पब्लिसाइज नहीं कर सकते। बट वी नो इट्स रॉन्ग, स्टूडेंट्स ऑल्सो नो इट्स रॉन्ग, बट गॉड नोज व्हाट्स अप with these people, what's behind the psyche while sending these letters. I would really take a moment to read out the threat letter I have in my hand that's gone to Bengaluru schools. It's really gory. I apologize to our viewers who may be freaked out by this, but you should listen to what this says. It says, hello, I'm writing to let you know that I have placed several explosive devices within school classrooms. The explosives are skillfully hidden in black plastic bags. I will erase every last one of you from this world. Not a single soul will survive. I will gladly laugh when I will watch the news, only to see parents show up at the school and be greeted by cold, dismembered bodies of their children. You all deserve to suffer. I truly hate my life. I will commit suicide after this news kicks in. I will slit my throat and slit my wrists. I was never truly helped. Psychiatrists, psychologists, no one has ever cared, and no one will ever care. You only care about medicating the helpless and clueless humans. Psychiatrists never tell you that those medicines ruin your organs or that they cause disgusting weight gain. You brainwash people into thinking psychiatric medicines can help them, but they don't. I'm living proof that they do not. You all deserve this. You deserve to suffer just like me. Please give a copy of this message to the press, the media. Roadkill, the person who sent it. I'm really shocked reading this because, first of all, flawless English, a lot of thought behind writing this, and it speaks of a troubled person. It could be a way to distract, it could be absolutely false, the person could be in good health and done this for whatever ulterior motives, or it could be indeed the person fully troubled, has an issue with his mental health or her mental health and has sent this mail, but it's scary to say the least. मैम, आपको ऐसे ये पढ़ के कैसा लगता है? अब एज अ पेरेंट आई वंडर व्हाट दे गोइंग थ्रू।
देखिए, आप मुझे ये मेल दिखा रहे हैं, तो इसको पढ़ के डेफिनेटली घबराहट है। अगर नहीं भी मेल पढ़ी तो मैं आपका ध्यान एक तरफ लेके जाना चाहूंगी। दिल्ली में इस बीच मेरी कई पेरेंट्स से बात हुई है पिछले 2-3 दिन में, जैसे स्कूल्स को, 1-2 स्कूल को पहुंचा, बट आज देख लीजिए अचानक से नंबर ऑफ स्कूल ज्यादा हो गए। सेम पैटर्न लास्ट ईयर भी हुआ था। तो मेरी कल परसों भी जब पेरेंट्स से बात हुई थी तो उन्होंने ये कहा कि मेरे स्कूल को मेल नहीं आया है, बट हम लोगों में घबराहट ये है कि कहीं वो चीज ना हो जाए कि जैसे लास्ट टाइम हुआ था और भी ज्यादा स्कूल्स में आ गई। और दूसरी बात, बेशक ये लास्ट में हॉक्स निकले, बट बाई चांस जैसे अभी बात हुई है, ऑपरेशन सिंदूर होके चुका है, कोई और इसका फायदा ना उठा के, भगवान ना करे कोई इशू
शायद
ले
कर
दे,
ही रहा
प्लस
होगा।
आपको
हमें किसको पता है कि ये मेल कहां से आ रहा है? इट कुड वेरी वेल बी अ थ्रेट फ्रॉम द आउटसाइड, इट कुड बी साइबर टेरर, for all you know. It not necessarily would be a youngster who's troubled. It could very well be across borders. Sir Sanjay?
See, I think it can also be that somebody is trying to fathom out the waters as to what the capabilities are. And I would go and step further. While we are talking about lack of the relevant law, I think this very clearly the gist of whatever you have been talking about. I think it should go into the terror law, and might be an agency like NIA would be able to do better justice because of the capabilities they have, and they will be able to bring these people to book. Because on the face of it, I think very clearly there can be a terror case booked. It is basically perpetrating terror. So there are precisely two things. One is that they are impacting schools can be made a part of the critical infrastructure of this country, which I believe they are, equal with power and energy sector and medical sector. So if these two things are added, that sense of urgency. Currently, the whole feeling is that there is a hoax and we are playing one sort of a drill, and there the whole thing ends. So I think these two needs to be added, and let's not confuse the privacy law with whatever is happening here. Privacy laws, the first thing is that already the rules have been gazetted. There is no denying the fact that the Balakrishna committee report has been diluted, but in whatever shape and form. 7 years after the Supreme Court judgment, I think we deserve a functional DPDP Act. DPDP Act is still not functional because the rules are not in place. So primarily, we are not providing enough focus, and the capability of the cyber security agencies in this country needs to be overhauled or supported by agencies, Mandiant, and there are lots of other companies who are doing great service all across the globe, who are experts in email forensic and they're experts in variety of other things. We are not taking their support, and there is no collaboration between the different agencies. So we give a complaint, it is taken by Delhi Police crime cell, or in Bangalore, wherever the concerned cell is, and I think there only it gathers dust.
Yeah, Kanishk, on a final note, as we wrap this here, I'd like to ask you if you have these young people, a lot of them have been traced back to be young juveniles, managing to send a mail through the dark web. They know the hooks, they know the tricks, they know how to camouflage, go incognito with such ease. If they are equipped, is our country's cybersecurity not equipped enough to crack into this?
See, what is clearly missing is understanding on some of these issues with respect to dark web, using VPN-based service providers, using Tor. Now, in which school have we taught children the good, bad, and the ugly of the internet? What can they find on the dark web? What is dark web? Has that been taught as part of curriculum which is being given in the schools? I don't think so. Children learn it from their friends. Children learn it through accessing internet. Children learn it when they hear some of their friends talking
What is the
about it.
cybersecurity agencies doing to be able to hack into this? How are they able to trace them when the youngsters have their way out so easily? Are we really
Because
saying
these
that
things are
these
not
young
taught.
people are
Nabila, these things are not taught.
outwitting our security agencies with such ease, without actual knowledge of the net?
Because we need to have more provisions on cyber training awareness, which need to be conducted for young children, and a larger law on how dark web can access, who can access, and if someone is misusing dark web or VPN-based emails or using Tor or secure email service providers like Proton or Atomic Email, what would be the legal liability or penalty, or under what jurisdiction it will fall? All of that is completely missing in the country. Until and unless we don't define basics, people will continue to use dark web,
Shame that we haven't
deep web.
defined basics. We are
We
in a
haven't defined
digital
those
age.
basics.
We're in a digital age. India's Bengaluru is known to be a Silicon Valley. We have the best tech. And if we are not able to actually hack this and secure our schools, our integral infrastructures like airports, then it's a shame. Thank you very much. I really got a lot of clarity on the levels of failure that we have with regards to cybersecurity today in this country.